Spoilers, offensive content. Season 2, Gravity Falls, episode 13, Dungeons, Dungeons, and More Dungeons. No more talk. Play the episode.
We should talk.
No more talk. We
Talk!
Okay, fine. Last time, we learned about the two stands, and we got a little... Well, let's be real. The show's been foreshadowing for a while that Dipper and Mabel will have this rift come between them. There was the photo of them shattering during the whole portal incident, and even little events back in Season 1 and 2 where they, they reached the resolution for things, but they were issues that maybe shouldn't have been issues in the first place. All I know about this episode is that it has a Dungeons and Dragons kind of parody in it, and Weird Al is apparently in this one.
Okay, it's about to get really weird.
Yeah. Weird Al. With that kind of title, I'm expecting more fun than advancement of the plot.
Look, if there's going to be a break between Dipper and Mabel, they're going to leave it for last minute. If there's 20 episodes in this season, I wouldn't expect to see a break like that until 17 at earliest.
Actually, I heard Alex Hirsch says it might be 21 or 22, which is a little longer than what last season was.
Wow. Has he talked about a season 3 or a movie yet?
Apparently, what's going on in this latter half of season 2 was supposed to be the start of a third season. They're kind of doing it a little early, which is fine. You know, I'm okay with not saving your best for later, so I'm okay with that. After that, we'll see. Nothing's been greenlit yet, as far as I know.
How hasn't Disney given him a blank check at this point? Like, seriously.
Hey man, I'm still looking for Gravity Falls clues in Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Ever since we saw that thing that looked like Bill Cipher, I keep waiting for them to show a map of America with a giant hole where Gravity Falls was. Because if there is, Dave, I am going to theory craft like I ain't never theory crafted before.
Just go back to episode 1 of Gravity Falls for our anime rave for it. And you get enough theory crafting there.
Hey man, I've been saying it since that first episode. I still think Mabel is
You think Mabel's part of the thread and shouldn't be trusted.
At the same time, I also don't want Mabel to just be carte blanche character development material for Dipper. I like both of these characters, and I want them both to be awesome. Even if they're on opposite ends of something, I want them to continue to both be independently awesome.
But Carlos, she's female in an animated show, so she's obviously there to die for the male character's development.
Oh God.
I
can't even deny this.
I
man.
trust Alex more than that. That would be like saying that they're going to kill off Steven's dad for his development.
Oh God. What if Greg Universe dies? I couldn't handle that.
Just throwing that out there to drive you nuts.
Oh my God.
I win.
What do you win? You don't win. You're sad too. We all lose.
Well, on with this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to finally.
That has got to be an awkward living situation. So we have this new house guest, who's your long lost great uncle. Mabel's sweater is puzzle pieces. What does that mean?
She's puzzled.
Her sweaters typically, she's always got different ones, and sometimes they're big like indicators of what's going to happen in the episode. Like in the last two, with the portal, she was wearing a sweater with a key on it, which is kind of important. Also, her nightgown, and I've noticed this for a couple episodes now, has a floppy disk on it. Or a save icon.
You're stretching now.
I'm not. Do you know they've done studies and people, like kids see that icon and they equate it with saving? They don't know what a floppy disk is. They've tried more up-to-date save icons. People don't know what to save with them.
All I'm hearing is some kids need to get beaten.
Yeah, no, actually, they don't, because what should you expect people of our age to know how fucking
magnetic tape worked?
How 8-tracks worked? Like,
yes.
No, that's stupid. 8-tracks were before our time, even.
No, 8-tracks were very much right when we came around. So
no, they weren't. Like, cassettes were already destroying 8-tracks, and CDs weren't that far off. If someone our age didn't know what the fucking 8-track was, there's no problem here. Why should they? Should anyone know what a butter churner is anymore?
Yes. History.
Yeah, history. Okay. Alright. History.
Play.
The rules are simple. First, you roll a 38-sided die to determine the level of each player's statistical analysis power orb. These orbs relate directly to the amount of quadrants that your team has dominion over, which is inverse to the anti-quadrants in your quadrant satchel.
And then we ride unicorns?
Yes! And no. First, we make a graph.
This is like Homework the Game.
Come on, Mabel, I need at least...
Okay, so this game's already Dungeons & Dragons version 1.
I like how Mabel went from excited to God, I hate you and I want to kill you with my eyes so smoothly in like 1.5 seconds flat.
What?
Man, I remember the halcyon days when I would be a fortress. But seriously, fuck you, Seuss.
You'll always be fortress-sized to me, Carlos.
Thanks anyway, Sus.
Thank you?
That game that's mostly math and writing and isn't anything.
Oh, nice! You rolled a 17! And this is sad. Maybe I should start obsessing over Wendy again.
I like how he's thinking about obsessing over Wendy because he's bored.
Yep.
No, obsess over Pacifica like I want you to. I ship you too.
No, he's already over that.
I also ship Mabel and Pacifica. I have a lot of ships. I'm okay with either of these.
Carlos, I'm being nice saying this. They've sailed. And sunk.
Dipper and Pacifica?
All your shipping?
You mean the one that happened 3 episodes ago?
It's already over.
I'm gonna be nice as possible and I say this too. Why don't you suck my ball?
0.01 seconds later.
So you're admitting you did it. I'm gonna call it right now. Somehow Probabilitor is gonna come to life, and that's who Weird Al is gonna voice. I'm calling it right now.
You're probably right. Okay, now they're making fun of the Zelda rap.
I kind of want to play Diggity Dungeons and all that.
Out!
Could you imagine a hip-hop wizard as a D&D villain? Be way cooler than any villain D&D has ever had.
Must have been...
Mortals of Dimension 46 apostrophe backslash, kneel before me and... snivel!
Yup! That's Weird
Okay.
Al.
Come on. Are you surprised?
Well, no. That's why I called it, because it's so easy to call.
Have you come
Yeah.
to send us on the quest of a lifetime?
We must be getting close. These fairy bites are getting more frequent.
Hey, look, listen!
Yes! Yes! I only have one question. Why was it trying to bite him?
It wasn't.
No, he said those fairy bites are getting more frequent.
I'm sure he's
Maybe
fine.
that one
No
wasn't.
cost
I
to
just
the
wanted him
force.
to
We
listen.
take this to our grave.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
Stop thinking, Dipper.
Shout out to Alex Hirsch.
The more your brain gets, the more he'll want to eat it. Make with the rules, ugly.
Where did he pull the gum from?
I don't know, but
We help our characters
Weird Al's perfect in this show.
yo, yeah, Weird Al is great.
you win, I'll go back to my own dimension.
I think we can all guess that in any episode involving dice and Grunkle Stan, that it's going to involve him somehow gambling, and that gum probably has something to do with it.
Probably. Wow, this is the most real-time version of Dungeons and Dragons I've ever seen.
Yeah, he just rolled a 13 and then he started like kicking ass. I'm like, huh. I have a few. I want to take a few ganders into that rule book, please. First of all, I thought this was turn-based.
No, that's Dungeons and Dragons. This is Dungeons and Dragons.
When Stan, why do I keep calling Dipper Stan? When Dipper and Ford were playing it, they were taking turns very clearly.
So this is the MMO version.
I think Probabilitor is just cheating.
I'll think of some weapons.
You don't understand. This is the most powerful monster in the game. He can only be defeated by rolling a perfect 38. But the odds of that are...
Hey, long odds are what you want when you're a world-class gambler. All right, Stan, you can do this. Papa needs a new pair of twins. No! Sorry, Nerd Wizard. All your smarts are no match for dumb luck.
I cast Death Muffins!
The game is like over. Excelsior whatever.
No! I'm returning to my own realm! I'm turning into pure math! What are the odds?
Uncle Stan, that was amazing. How did you know that you would win?
Hey, a gambler never reveals his secrets.
Man.
I had a feeling that he was using the gum. Also, should Mabel have been eating the death muffin? Just saying.
Whatever.
Probably became a normal muffin after.
I mean, let's face it, she had how much of that
And if you two want
discontinued
I won't get in your way.
fairy sugar stuff from, like, episode 4?
Yeah, she probably has an iron stomach.
Dear Mom and Dad, we
Well,
played
that was
Gravity Falls.
season 2, episode 13 of Gravity Falls, Dungeons, Dungeons, and More Dungeons. Dave, what did you think of this episode?
There really weren't that many dungeons.
There was one dungeon, but I think the point is infinite variation.
I only saw one variation there. I think we got more of a fantasy sort of style when they went to the future and had to fight in that
In
combat.
Blendon's game, yeah.
Yeah. However, this was awesome. Weird Al totally fit
The whole Weird Al was made
perfectly.
to voice Probabilitor easily.
Yeah, no, this was good. We got more foreshadowing for what's to come. Do you still think that
No.
he's an enemy, or do you think Alex is actually messing with us now, seeing as that picture has always revealed an enemy?
No, I think Ford is still shady. He's been gone too long. We know enough about the hero qualities of Stan and not much about Ford. But overall, you
I
like
think
this?
we know a lot about Ford, actually.
We know a bit about Ford. There's still a
We don't-
30-year gap.
We don't know what happened on the other side of the portal, except we now know that he's been to multiple dimensions.
Yeah, there is a multiverse, which means that
that
Bill Cipher being in Star Wars: The Force of Evil is lent credence.
maybe that he's made enemies.
He's made enemies. He can definitely endure what's on the other side, unlike McGucket, who couldn't.
And, you know, I don't know. I think McGucket was more. His mind wasn't ready for what was on the other side. It may not have even been, like, environmental. It just may have been. Literally, it blew his mind.
It being a multiverse gate, it also could have easily been that he saw something really bad
Yeah.
that not even Ford has seen.
Maybe.
32 episodes of Gravity Falls passed, and yeah, I've been very impressed with the show, and I've never doubted the direction it's going. And this was the 33rd episode, and now I do. Actually, this episode kind of bothered me, believe it or not. Yeah, I was laughing at it. I had a good time during it. The jokes came a mile, like they just rapid fire jokes at us so fast. It's hard not to laugh at it. But I have some problems actually with this episode,
Okay.
and I'm a little worried because this is the first time I've ever had problems with a Gravity Falls episode. All right. So remember back in season 1 when Dipper was all afraid of Wendy's ex, now ex. And I was talking about how, you know, it's stupid that Dipper's afraid of this guy when even already at that point he has faced mortal danger from inhuman threats that have tried to kill him outright. Like, say, the Wax guy, Wax Sherlock Holmes and whatnot. So that was a bit of a weird disconnect that Dipper would even be afraid of this guy. of this punk. But whatever. In the context of the episode, it made sense, I guess. Even if in the context of the overall plot it didn't, but it didn't really damage anything. This episode gave me a similar vibe, but in a way that I think is actually not very good for the fiction as a whole. They have been foreshadowing this Dipper-Mabel rift since episode 1. Episode 1 has been doing it. If people, you don't believe me, go back and you'll see episode 1. That early, it's been foreshadowed that these two are going to be broken apart somehow. And yet, much like in Star Wars Episode 3, where I didn't really buy Anakin turning into Darth Vader, in this episode, they kind of forced it, and it made me go, this seems kind of forced. Like, okay, Dipper, you have also crossed lines with Mabel that she's forgiven you for. And she's crossed lines with you that you've forgiven her for. And generally, these two twins will sometimes get on each other's nerves, but they have each other's back, right? They will apologize to the other and make amends. This has been done countless times before. So here's what I don't get. Yeah, okay, Mabel's rubbing in the fact that he likes this game a bit. But, Dipper, this is not new. And Dipper was bothered by some of her behavior before, but never in a lasting way. And here, he really took it hard. And then when he said it, when Mabel did her whole jab about, wait till he gets to know you, haha, buzzing, whatever. She's like, yeah, you got me. Like, these two have been on how many adventures together? And this is really a point of, like, a point of misunderstanding between the two? This is really an issue? Hang on, I'm at the... Furthermore, Dipper knows Mabel inside and out, okay? And Mabel knows Dipper. They know each other well enough to know what each other kind of likes and doesn't like, especially since they have... Not only have they been together their whole lives, but they have all this experience adventuring in Gravity Falls, having now a life expectancy that's probably lower than most adult soldiers in real militaries, okay? They know each other. Dipper knows full well that if he appeals to Mabel's sense of imagination, he can get her to play. Furthermore, Dipper knows that Mabel kind of is wary of playing games against Dipper because in competitive games he tends to win, and that's frustrating for her. Furthermore, they know each other well enough to not have let that thing in the bedroom become this overarching issue that now it's going to be. The part where Ford trusts Dipper with information and says you can't even tell your sister, that I get. Okay, that I do get. But the rest of the discontent in this episode between the two, it seemed so forced, and I did not like that.
Okay, I think you're wildly off base. Momentary... The fact that all of a sudden he's acting this way wasn't a riff at her there. He was more ignoring things. It's a lot like...
He did blatantly say that Ford doesn't make fun of him the way Mabel and Stan do.
Sure.
So that was a direct addressing of her behavior.
Yes, but it's a lot like when a person gets a new friend. And they're spending all their time with them.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, things that were happening before kind of highlight what was going on. Like maybe your old friend riffed you a whole bunch on certain things. Well, this person doesn't. All of a sudden, it's like, well, this is awesome because this person doesn't do this. It's...
What you're very clumsily trying to say is that when someone makes a new friend or you get into a new relationship of some kind, if there are things about it that kind of somewhat highlight problems in an old one, the old one can get shunned a bit. I get that. However, again, Dipper and Mabel have been down this road. There have been no less than 2 episodes where this exact topic happened, where one or the other was kind of leaving the other behind. Then they got upset, they made up, and all was well. So this is not new. Except in this episode, it's treated with much more gravity. No pun intended.
And maybe that's kind of it, is that you have to remember they're both kids.
Yeah, but let's be real. They're both kids, but they're both Disney-level super kids.
True, but the fact that it's popped up a couple times before doesn't mean that it can't happen again. By the end of the episode, again, they made up.
Yes, and I'm aware of that, but there's a difference here. Now Dipper is keeping a secret from Mabel because Ford told him to.
Let's see how long that lasts.
Yeah, I kind of hope in the next episode he's already told her. That would have been refreshing, because for him to have done that and not gone down the obvious path of actually following Ford's directions, when Dipper himself is a very skeptical kid who will suspect people. Like, he suspected everyone he's ever known except Ford and Mabel sometimes. So, I mean...
Okay, but even there, right now, with Great Uncle Ford... Yeah, Grunkle Ford then.
Just call him Ford. It's fine.
Sure,
He's not
Ford.
a car. We won't mistake him for the car.
With Ford, it's somebody new who actually gets Dipper right down to who he is. And very much right now, Ford has star power, if you will. He's a celebrity to Dipper. He is going to... I won't be surprised if Dipper keeps it secret for an episode or two. Because right now, Ford is, he's the author. He's fucking amazing. Freaking amazing.
No, you can. I stopped censoring things.
Okay. So, the fact that he is so enthralled with Ford right now, it's like a little kid meeting their superstar sports idol.
Being their superstar idol. I've idolized you forever at this superstore.
But you get what I'm saying.
No, I get what you're saying, and it's not my issue that Ford is kind of has a man that Dipper kind of has a man crush on Ford. I have no issue with this whatsoever. That's fine. I have an issue with the rift between Dipper and Mabel being presented so artificially in this episode when it has been done so expertly in the past. It has been done adeptly with just the right amount of subtlety before, and here it was hammered into our eyeballs in the most non-subtle way. In fact, this whole episode is it was very non-subtle. Maybe that's the point.
Maybe this whole wasn't subtle.
No, it's like, oh man, I'll have you know, it's not just a kids show. There's a deep mystery element. I'm like, oh gee, thank you. Wink, nudge.
This episode was very self-aware.
It was too self-aware, actually.
I don't think so. I think Alex Hirsch needed to get this out.
Well, look. Out of 33 episodes of Gravity Falls, 32 have been awesome, and only one of them has made me go, I don't like this. So,
And I think you're being lame about that.
they're like the track record here is in this show's favor by and far. So, I am only a little bit wary over this, and not a lot wary like I would have been if that's had been a trend. If every couple episodes there was something bad, then I'd be like, uh-oh, I don't like this. Right now, this is making me go, wow, okay, I hope this doesn't set a precedent. Because if this sets a precedent, I will turn on this show so hard. However, it's just this episode, right? Like, shows are allowed to occasionally have a bad episode.
And this wasn't a bad one.
Like look at Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love that show to death, and that show has way more than just one bad episode, right? Like, and that's one of the best animated shows I've ever seen.
I hate how you're referencing this episode as bad. It wasn't.
And here's the thing, yeah, you liked it. I liked it too. I had a lot of fun. I don't think this episode was bad. It was bad. It's just that this episode was weird in that it seemed to display a lack of mastery that is present in the other 32 episodes of this show. This 33rd one is the odd man out, and not in a good way.
Duck.
The odd duck out, quack quack, and not in a good way.
So
with a
what
beard.
you're saying is this episode's quacking you up.
Quacking. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, okay, I'm kind of saying it's a bad episode just because I'm comparing it to other shows with bad episodes. But was it bad? No, it really wasn't. Like, this isn't an episode of the show that makes me go, oh man, this show's Painted Lady. This is not the Painted Lady from Avatar. This is not a holy garbage fucking episode that's completely irredeemable like that one was. No, what I'm saying is in this episode is clumsy in worrisome ways this late in the game.
For once, I'm going to say you're thinking way too much about it.
I might be overthinking it. For all I know, the next episode's going to do everything right again. And by all rights, that's exactly what's going to happen, right? The next episode, and in the end of the show, I'm going to look back on this as an anomaly and be like, okay, this episode was kind of clumsy, but it didn't damage anything. Kind of like Dipper being afraid of the punk when he had no reason to be.
And I've gone back and watched that episode. Yeah, he was kind of afraid of him, but he was also afraid of the situation.
True. I mean, it's not like he could go kill the guy like he could the wax Sherlock Holmes, right? So I get that. And yeah, I might be overthinking this, and I appreciate that you're defending it because this show has not earned my suspicion. I'm just going to say I'm a little wary.
I think you're definitely overthinking it. This episode I thought was really clever in how it used everything from the dice to bringing them together to showing that they could work together. This was the episode that gives just the hint of maybe them being able to reconcile, but yet keeping each other at distance.
And I just want to make clear, I want the two to actually have a rift between them. I think for a sequel series of Gravity Falls, if Dipper and Mabel, after a time hop or something, are on opposite ends of something, but still kind of like wanting what's best for each other, that could be done really well. That can be a huge amount of drama and comedy and excellent storytelling.
Meh. So
I am totally okay with I just want to make clear that the fact that the rift is happening is not what bothers me. They've hinted at this forever. It's just the whole Anakin Skywalker thing. I believed Anakin Skywalker was Darth Vader in Attack of the Clones way more than I believed it in Revenge of the Sith. Is all I'm saying.
Sure, and I'm saying that the rift that happened in this episode, the small one between them, I totally buy because of the situation.
Sure, and I guess that's where we're going to disagree. I feel that these two have known each other long enough and especially recently learned so much about each other that this shouldn't have even been the situation that causes a rift.
How often do I try and kill you?
You try to kill me quite often, but the issue...
And vice versa. And I've known you for how many years?
Oh, a long time. But I mean, like, maybe if the fact that Ford was entrusting Dipper with something that he instructed him to keep from his sister, maybe if that was the point of contention now, I would have bought that a bit, and maybe I don't. Maybe it's just a little bit of me that doesn't want to wait for a later episode for that to happen. Maybe I want to see that happen now, for all I know. You know.
Okay. Do you know what they're setting up here?
They're setting up so much wizardry.
There's lots of magic. All right. Okay. What happened 3 episodes ago?
We had a really big Dipper Pacifica shipping episode.
Sorry, 2 episodes ago.
Gravity Falls got turned upside down, and we were introduced to
Great Uncle
Ford.
What happened at the end of the episode that could have put a rift, the start of a rift between the two of them?
Mabel hit the button after Dipper specifically told her not to do it, not to trust Stan. And you know what? Want to know what happened in the very next episode? Dipper apologized to Stan, and specifically told Stan that he didn't know he was looking for his brother. And he was okay with Mabel because here's the thing about Dipper. Here's the thing about Dipper. He is still a hero. Yeah, there are things about Dipper that are petty and small, but he always comes through in the end, and he still came through.
Okay, what I'm referencing here is we had a moment where Mabel didn't go with what Dipper wanted and did her own thing, trusting Stan.
Mm-hmm.
You can be sure that in the next couple episodes, we're going to have the exact same moment where Dipper will trust 4.
And a Vertigo's tweet, Dave.
And that'll be where we get to see if Ford is evil or not.
And again, I get that. That is like that. No shit. That's what's going to happen. I just hope that when it does, and it will, it's executed better than it was in this episode, where it was kind of clumsy.
And we're going to have to agree to disagree.
Sure. Which is fine. It's okay to disagree. Opposing viewpoints are important in reviews, because if we always agree all the damn time, what's the point of both of us reviewing something, right?
Don't worry. I won't crush you too many times with my chair.
Yeah, it's, you won't crush me at all, because I have chair block +1. Anytime someone attempts to hit me in the chair, a stream of sand shoots out of their vagina and into their mouth, choking them to death.
Well, I guess males are immune to your power then.
No, you know what I'm implying. Oh man, that's real sexist of me. Folks, thank you so much for listening to us. For watching us watch this. CarlosandDaveAnimeRave.com is your home on the web for things that are not mysteries. And before you hit the stop button on this, Dave, I just want to look something up. There are not any kind of mystery messages or hidden content in our site, but there is in this show, and the secret message of this one was... Oh, for fuck's sake. Here we go. Fun and games are great distractions, but small things can have chain reactions. That's fucking ominous. The cryptogram in the end credits is Excelsa whatever. Oh my. Wow. Ominous.